Welcome back everybody. Today I'm going to be doing a little bit more on the car. It's a lovely day in Melbourne, so I've got the pegs out, nice and warm. I've been doing a little bit of painting. Some of these rusty brackets which were holding the headlights on down there, I've taken those off and given them a paint, so just in a satin black. Also done the wiper blades. The car's up in the air today. I'm going to be pulling the wheels off, taking the side skirts off, finishing stripping down the car, taking the door cards, the wing mirrors and the rubber side strips off. Probably take the glass out of the car on the side windows, and I may even Hadouken out the back window because I tried taking the window tin off and it's just not happening, so might be time for some new glass. Went ahead and put the wingless boot lid on, so that all works. Used my old wiring loom, threaded that in, so that's all good to go. I might even start work on some of the body work and start working on these dents by sanding them down to metal and filling them with a bit of bog or nicky or whatever you want to call it in your country, but we're going to smooth these out and even look at doing a refresh of the rusty wheels and faded, scraped up hubcaps. So, because as you know, I've got to get the car ready and registered first before I can start any of the performance modifications, because there's no way I'll be able to drive it on the streets of Mexico unless it's registered. So it's got to be basically restored before I can start ripping it apart and making it go fast. Back at it 3 days later, same clothes, don't worry, they've been through the wash, but back out onto the car. I'm just going to show you what I finished up with last time because the battery died. So I've managed to take off the mirrors, the weather trims along here, the window trims, and the trim around here, as well as both the door cards on this side, speakers, that's all gone. I've taped up where all the lights go, because I'm about to start sanding and I don't want dust going all through the car. Last job before we get to body work is finishing off the door trims. So pull those out, pull all the handles out. One thing I've learnt in the couple of weeks of working on a Honda is that Honda didn't design things to come apart. They designed them to stay there in their place where they put them, and they don't want them to come out. My experience dealing with Nissans is very easy to work on, very straightforward. Things have bolts, they're easy to get to most of the time, and 10, 12, 14, unbolt them, bolt them back on, everything lines up pretty smoothly. In a Honda, they're made so that once you've clipped it in place, that's where it's going to stay. So things like the rear door handle, that was an absolute mission to get out. Oh. I almost threw the towel in just on one door handle, could you believe it? Stick with me, I'll stick you on another time lapse. We'll finish taking those door cards off, tape everything up, get ready for sanding. So that's the fun part. I still haven't Hadoukened out the back window or the front window. I'm trying to figure out if there's an easier way to do that, but probably just going to smash it out and buy new ones. I want to do a good job, and I want something that I can be proud of that's going to last. So the windows have to come out, unfortunately. So yeah, we'll get to it. Stick around for a time lapse. Okay, so what you just saw there was called hand ugger-duggers, because I don't have a rattle gun and the car's jacked up. I didn't think to loosen the bolts before I put it in the air, so I had to get a bit violent. These, I can tell you so far, are going to be some rusty ass wheels. The hubcaps though, they're not gutted too bad, so once I sand and prime them and just paint them just silver, they'll actually look alright. Whoa, it's been a while since those bad boys have been off. Great news is the coilovers showed up, so I'll be swapping those out later on. I also ordered new steering rack boots. They arrived today. As you can see, these ones here are chopped. So that's a bonus. They arrived. So all this sort of stuff, which is pretty easy to change, is ready to go. So I'll keep pulling it apart, cleaning it, and getting it ready to put all the new parts on. I noticed the rubber trim on the inner wheel arch of the back wheel. Can someone tell me in the comments if that's standard or if the owner put that on? But it goes all the way around. I'm going to get rid of it because I need to lip those guards to fit some fat rubber in there. But looks pretty cool, and it's covered in smut, muck. Caked on gross ass juicy dirt. Yep, so nasty. Need to get all that out so I can bash the guards up. I'm going to beat them up with a hammer. Anyone that's a panel beater or you know, fussy with cars and all that's going to probably cringe when I start whacking the guards, but because I haven't whipped out the bog yet and I haven't started sanding, I'll be very careful and I'll fold them up as best as I can, and any little ripples that I do get, I'm going to fill them up with bog, smooth them, and yeah, that's just what you do, so stand by. Here you'll find the other reason why I didn't go the hatch is because the hatches have drum brakes on the back and the sedans have discs, so to hatch people. So I've already gone ahead and lipped the other guard. The battery on the GoPro died, so I've got a bit of charge in it now. I've already started on this side. I'm doing this the rough way, but when I show you the other side and I show you this side, it actually turns out pretty good. So I'm just snipping some little cuts in the lip. As you can see, it doesn't come out to the edge here, so that's good. So just a bunch of little cuts there all the way around. And the next step is to grab your trusty knockometer. Just going for the little baby one here, and then you smash it up. So you start by you can see what I mean about the paint flaking, but that's all good because we're going to sand that off anyway. But right there, it's nice and smooth, even with those razor sharp cuts. You know, it's nice and smooth, so we're not going to slash any tyres. Okay, I was a bit hardcore on this side. The other side was a better job, so beginner's luck there, but a couple of little tiny little waves, they'll come out with sanding and a smoothing and bog, which you have to do anyway when you roll these guards, because you want to feel every sharp edge that's in there anyway, even though, you know, it's not that bad, you still want to keep that nice and smooth on that inner lip. So I'm just going to finish banging this one. So I was having to play around with the windscreen and how I was going to get that out and figure out how to paint the windscreen correctly, and I noticed that the front seal just pulled out from the corner here, and I just pulled it all the way around. So hopefully I can buy a new one of those and just press a new window seal in. I went around the back thinking I was clever to try and do the same thing. Tried to find a gap in the rubber there to try and take that rubber out. It was a fail because she popped. So there's only one thing left to do, and that's kick the shit out of it. Hadouken! Hadouken! It's going to be fun to clean.